Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. My fellow F&I peeps, good morning. What is going on, champions? Man, look, it is good to see you guys this morning. It's great to be here on a Friday, ready to crush this weekend. Down here in Atlanta, it's supposed to snow. Not really happy about that. However, if it's snowing outside, we creating fires inside, baby. Good morning to you guys. Good morning, Richard. Good morning to you, champion. How you doing, man? Good morning to you. Listen to me. If you are joining this live, please let me know where you are joining me from and say good morning, man. Good morning to you. Look, it's about 11:20 on the East Coast. So let me know how you guys doing in Central Time. Let me know how you guys doing in the North, on the West Coast. But listen, today I want to talk about something that somebody brought up in the F&I 20 group, man. I want to talk about what to do when you're in a slump in F&I, right? When you're in a slump, because a slump has happened to every one of us in finance. If you've not faced a slump before in F&I, then just keep doing it. Just keep doing F&I long enough, and you will inevitably run into a slump, because it happens. And listen to me, in my 20-year career, right? In my 20 years of managing stores, in my 20 years in the F&I game, in my 20-year career, I can tell you what experience has taught me about how to handle a slump. Slumps are temporary. Slumps are not permanent. So here's the first thing that I need for you to do. I'm going to talk about the top 5 things you need to do whenever you run into a slump. I'm going to talk about that for just a second. So the very first thing that you need to do is you need to get your attitude right. Whenever you're facing a slump, you need to get your attitude right. Right? You need to understand something. You need to understand that a slump, number one, is temporary. It's not permanent. Number two, whenever you are facing that next customer, if you've had several customers in a row that you've come up short on, that you haven't sold anything on, or that you haven't gotten the back end that you wanted to on that, right? That you haven't protected the customer. You weren't able to sell water to somebody who was thirsty. You weren't able to sell protection to customers who really needed it. That's okay. Stop. Stop for just a second. Stop. Hold on just a second. And I need for you to realize that the next customer that you bring back in your office, they don't know that you're in a slump. They don't know that you have had a string of deals where you came up short. They don't know that the last 4 or 5 deals have really hurt your grosses, have really hurt your PVR, have really hurt your production averages. The next customer that you get, they don't know these things. You have to hit the reset button. Every time you get a customer, every time you do a delivery, every time you do a presentation, when that customer leaves your office, I need for you to hit the reset. Because the next customer that you bring in deserves to get a 10 out of 10 experience. They deserve to get a 10 out of 10 presentation. They deserve the opportunity to protect themselves based on your ability to present massive value in your products, based on your ability to stay in the close, lead them to the ultimate close, and shut them down. They deserve the opportunity to get your best. So number one, when you are in a slump, I need for you to give yourself a checkup from the neck up. What's going on, champions? J-Sick, what's going on, big dog? Good to see you, Atlanta. Good morning. Hey, man. We are supposed to be getting that snow this weekend, man. It's crazy. Dante, good morning. Eric, good morning. Appreciate you. Henderson, Kentucky. Good morning. Zach Hale, good morning to you. Listen, number one, again, attitude. Check that neck. Get a checkup from the neck up, man. Hit that reset button when your customer leaves your office, so that the very next customer that you bring into your office gets the very best version of you. You cannot, if you go into a deal in a funk, if you worried about how bad that last deal just damaged your numbers, you're worried about how bad that last deal just damaged your penetration, damaged your people. very next deal could be the one. But you got to hit that reset button. Number two, listen to me. Number two, dude, I need for you to go back to the fundamentals. The fundamentals, not the basics. About the worst thing, the second worst thing in finance that I've ever heard somebody say was, go back to the basics. That is so amateurish. That is so archaic. Go back to the basics. The very worst thing a person ever says is, I'm doing it this way because that's the way I've always done it. That's the very first thing that could cost you the most money. But the second thing is listen to me. Go back to the basics. No. Go back to the fundamentals. You don't want to undo all of the skill set that you've trained for and that you've gained by going back to the basics, by going back to the old humdrum, archaic way of doing F&I, by pulling out a menu with columns in front of it and saying service contract and gap and tire wheel and do you have any questions before I ask you to choose? No? Well, over here you forfeit and 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 you forfeit all over yourself. Come on, man. Get rid of the basics. But go back to the fundamentals. Okay, what are the fundamentals? The fundamentals are what work. The fundamentals is your skill set. The fundamentals is what you've been training for. The fundamentals is hitting that reset button and getting the right attitude. The fundamentals is making sure that that customer has the right experience. The fundamentals is rolling out the red carpet for that customer. The fundamentals is bringing them back here, flipping around that screen and disclosing all the information. Why? Because you're okay with it. You're certain and you're confident that once you disclose all that information, you understand that's going to build instant credibility for your customer. And once you have instant credibility built with your customer, that means that they lowered their guard some. And when they lowered their guard some, if you're able to roll into a phenomenal dynamic value build presentation based on your skill set, not the basics, but based on your skill set, you know then that you're gonna, now that they've lowered their guard, you're about to build $100,000 worth of value in your product, and you're only gonna ask $5,000 for it. Listen to me. When you know those things, then you all but are certain and can guarantee the result that you're gonna get. When you approach it right, by sticking with the fundamentals, not the basics, but sticking with the fundamentals, listen to me. A lot of times we run into a slump. A lot of times we get a string of what we call bad deals, because we've gotten off of the path of the fundamentals that work. We've let other things get in our head. We've let other things distract us. I need for you to get back to the fundamentals. You know what a perfect deal, when you enter a deal perfectly. You know when you have the right attitude. You know when you give it your all. You know that when a customer gladly, smiling, happily signs up on your product because you've given a $100,000 presentation, because you've had the best attitude and that customer's had the best experience. You know when that happens for you. Get back to that fundamental. The brain damage comes when you try to beat them up with the menu. A menu does not build value in your products. So when a customer doesn't see the value in your products, then you feel like you got to beat them up or make them feel small and trap them. Out there, you told me. So you feel like you have to do all these kamikaze tactics in order to close a customer. No. The fundamental is build value. Customers aren't against protecting themselves. Customers are against buying things that they don't see value in. Customers are not against protecting themselves. Customers are against buying things simply because you pressure them. Customers are not against protecting themselves. Customers are against having bad experiences. Customers are not against protecting themselves. Customers are against having the type of experience by somebody who talk about how long they've been in the business, like the last finance manager they took delivery from. Get back to the fundamental. The fundamental is taking care of the customer. Rolling out the red carpet for the customer. Making sure that they're, on a scale of 1 to 10, their experience is phenomenal. The customer. Making sure that you take the time to build massive value in your product for the customer, so that the customer can make an informed decision and say yes. When you only charge them $4,000 or $5,000 for a service contract that's worth $100,000. Yes, give that customer the opportunity to protect themselves by getting back to the fundamentals and getting out of your own way, getting out of your own head. Come on with it. Travis, what's up, champion? Happy New Year. Toby, good morning, champion. Francis, good morning from Wisconsin. What's happening? Trey, good morning to you, champion, from Sherman, Texas. Good morning. So we got him from Wisconsin from Texas to Tennessee this morning. Good morning, Frederick. David, Suzuki, New Jersey. Good morning, champion. Marry up, church. That's one of my finance managers. What's up, Sonia? What's happening? Good morning from North Carolina. Good morning to you. Johnny Williams, good morning. El Paso, Texas. Good to see you. Good to see you this morning. We talking about what you need to do when you are in a slump. Listen to me. A slump is up here. A slump is not the customer. A slump is up here. A slump is not the deal. Listen to me. The slump is up here. It's up here. So what do you do to kind of shield yourself from a slump? What do? You train. The better you become, the less you're going to run into slumps. Why? Because the more you train to build your skill set, the better you're going to become at what your duty is. The better you're going to become at building value in your product. And the better you become at building value in your product, the more customers will tell you yes. The less likely they are to tell you that they don't have the money for what they see value in. The less likely they are to tell you, hey, my dad's a mechanic. I had one before and never used it. These are great vehicles. I'm gonna self-insure. I'm gonna take my chances. I don't drive that many miles. I'm not gonna keep it that. All of the stuff that they've come prepared to tell you, based on the last experience, not have anything to do with you, but based on the last time they took delivery of a vehicle. They come in and sit in front of you with their defense mechanism. Why? Because they don't want to go through the same thing they went through. With somebody who went out there and who went out there and interviewed them and then brought them back to their office, whipped out a menu, and when the customer said no, the finance manager said, well, is it the price or is it the value? What you think it is? They don't see any value. And then when they tell you, hey, you know what? I'm not going to be keeping. Well, you told me, right? Based on the interview that you did with them, you trap them. You told me no. Your job as a finance manager is to build massive value. So train. The more you train, the better you get, the less likely you will end up in a slump. It does not happen to those. When you have a sharp axe, you will be able to chop down the redwood trees. You will be able to win the tree chopping contest. Listen to me. The sharper your axe is, the more confident you are. The sharper your axe is, the more certain you are. And the most certain person in every transaction will always influence the other one. That's the truth. The most certain person in the room will always influence the other people. That's how it happens. So train, build your skill set. Build your skill set so that you don't run into the slumps. Reset. Every time you do a delivery, hit the reset button. Go back to the fundamentals. Continue to sharpen your axe, number 3. Number 4. I want you guys to realize something. The best time to do a delivery is just like the best time to sell a car, right? The best time to sell a car is right after you just sold one, right? The best time to do a delivery is right after you hit a home run. Listen to me. One home run can change the game for you. Realize that. Instead of going into a dark place, instead of seeing the glass half empty, instead of thinking about all the deals you just came up short on, I need you to concentrate on that home run. I need you to concentrate on doing such a good job that your customer decides to pay you all the money and feels great about protecting themselves. A home run can change the game for you. That's what I need for you to focus on. A home run. You need to keep a home run as the target. A home run will change the game. There's no better feeling in the world. There's no better feeling than when you've done a great deal. There's no better feeling to a finance manager. I'm telling the whole world this. Everybody in your dealership, for an F&I manager, there's no better feeling than when you've done a great deal. There's no better feeling than when you've hit a home run. Listen to me. When you hit a home run, it affects every piece of your life. Shaka, what do you mean by that? Man, listen to me. When you hit a home run, your attitude is better. What you thinking about is better. Your food tastes better. The shower feels great. There's no traffic outside when you're on the way home. Everything that you need in your life all of a sudden shows up when you hit a home run. Why? Because your mentality is different. Your spirit is different. Your energy is different. A home run does so much for you, not just what's on paper. Not just what's on the screen. A home run does so much for the human and the person you are, how you feel on the inside about yourself. A home run, listen to me, a home run, one home run can change the game for you. So I need for you guys to focus. Stay focused on hitting a home run. Hit that reset button and get focused on hitting a home run. And number 5. The fifth thing for you to do whenever you are in a slump. Number 5, I want for you guys to control as much of the deal as possible. Shaka, what do you mean by that? Listen to me. Think about this for a second. If you, finance manager, if you controlled 100% of the deal, if you controlled it from the time a customer pulls up on the lot all the way to when they took delivery of the vehicle. Imagine this. If you controlled the entire thing, would you ever be in a slump? If you controlled the entire transaction, the entire experience, from when the customer pulled up all the way to when they took delivery, would you ever have a bad deal if you were in control of 100% of the process? I want you. And the answer is we all know. If you're controlling it, then no, you'll never be in a slump. If you're controlling it, no, you would never have a bad deal. Why? Because you're in control of it. I need finance managers. If you find yourself going into a slump, I need for you to start controlling more of the deal. What does that mean? That means the earlier you involve yourself, the earlier you interject yourself into a deal, the more control you have. I need for you to go out there and spend more time with the customer, more time with the salespeople, more time with the desk. I need for you to control the deal more. Listen, I want salespeople to come to you when they have questions. I want desk managers to come to you when they have questions. I need for you to be a person of value within that dealership and not leave that deal up to chance. I do not want you to get that deal last and you know nothing about it. I need for you to interject yourself early so that you can control more of the deal. I want you to control more of it, because when you control more of it, the less likely you are to do a bad deal. Okay, those are the 5. Attitude, go back to the fundamentals. Train like your life and your career depends on it. Know, number 4, that a home run can change the game for you. And number 5, take control of the deal early. Take control of the deal early. Eric, good to see you this morning, champion. Great to see you guys. I appreciate you guys. Brad, great to see you. Create your own destiny mindset. You are absolutely right. Yizak, great to see you this morning. Listen to me. You do not have to stay in a slump. A slump is temporary. A slump is nothing that's permanent. A slump is something that happens, then it's over. We've all been there. But some of us like to get there and live. Some of us like to go get into a slump and then park. Some of us like to get into a slump and watch a movie. Some of us like to get into a slump, stay, and then talk about it. I want you to use those 5 things that I just discussed with you today to get yourself right out of it. When you realize you're in a slump, if you do a bad deal, then you do a second bad deal, then you do a third bad deal, hit the reset button. Take a minute. Pause. What is it that you're not doing? What is it that you're missing? What is it that you need to adjust? What is it that you need to change on customer number 4? What is it? Adjust that attitude. Hit the reset button. Get back to the fundamentals. Train a home run and know that a home run is going to change the game for you. So I want you to get out there and take more control of the deal, of the customer, okay? Thank you so much for sitting with me. Thank you so much for being here on a Friday with me. I love you guys. F&I managers, you are my heart. Dealer F&I University, it's there. It's a game changer. DealerFIU.com. Again, DealerFIU.com. Go take Dealer F&I University. Go start skilling up. Go start building your F&I muscle and your F&I intellect. Listen to me. When you become part of my F&I training platform, I have your back. Become part of my community. Get the success that all these finance managers are getting, and more importantly, all of these dealers are getting. Listen to me. We do it different. We build skill set. We get the result. Period, point blank. When you take my training, I got your back. I love you, appreciate you.